But let's go and have a chat now to our lovely Gary Wood, who's got some tips for us today on sleeping. Have you, Gary?
Hello, yes, it is me, social psychologist, life coach and legend in my own lunchtime again. And yours now.
Indeed, well, we're glad to have you, Gary. How are you keeping?
Well, usually I get off to sleep by counting sheep, but I was up last night trying to get them to social distance as well.
Right.
So it's not great. I've been thinking recently about a particular world leader whose name will go unmentioned, who claims to get by on 4 hours sleep a night, and yet the whole world is thinking, please, 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 have a lie-in, have an early night. Lack of sleep. We've got bodily rhythms called circadian rhythms, and they're all a bit out of kilter at the moment. So if we get a lack of sleep, it can make us grumpy, it messes with our mood, it impairs decision-making, it can make us angrier, less friendly, and have less empathy. All the things that we don't need at the moment. So massive knock-on effects also in terms of what we eat. You know, sleep is quite satisfying, and if we don't get a good night's sleep, our brains will think about the next day, what can I do that's satisfying? And the easiest thing is junk food. So what you often find is a link between poor sleep patterns and eating a junk food diet.
Right.
So we're back to diet again, not eating too late at night, so not deciding to, knock up a beef bourguignon at 9 o'clock of a night. Try and give 4 hours before you go to bed. Not watching too much TV really late at night, not getting on your screens. So trying to prepare yourself a little bit for your routine. So what's your evening routine? How do you get off to sleep?
Me, I just get so tired that I put myself in bed and I drift off, but I don't have the phone or anything like that on there.
Brilliant.
And I have to have it in complete darkness with no sound whatsoever at all. Any sound irritates me because I focus on it and then I can't go to sleep and it drives me mad.
Yes, a silent room is great. For some people, if they've got noisy neighbours, you can put one of those wave machines on it. That tends to work quite well. The kind of the white noise masks the noisy neighbours. Power naps as well. People have asked me about power naps. They do actually work. If you get a chance to yourself, you have to do it before 3 o'clock and just set your timer for 30 minutes.
Right.
And that can actually give us a boost as well, because if we're getting up a bit earlier or the days are feeling a little bit no structure at all, then a power nap can help us at all.
It needs to be quite quick, though, doesn't it? Because if you go too long, you wake up feeling absolutely wretched. It's got to be what you said there on the tin, a nap.
Yeah, a nap, 30 minutes. It's the same with sleep of a night. I sometimes have to get up really early, at about 4:15 to get a 6:15 train. And I notice when I get 4.5 hours sleep, I actually feel better than when I get 5 hours sleep. And I couldn't work this out for ages. And when I was doing some research for my learning skills book, what I found that sleep runs in 90-minute cycles. So we could either try and sleep for 4.5 hours, that should be the minimum, 6 hours or 7.5 hours. In between, it tends to it's that thing where you just, when you're thinking, well, I'll just have another half an hour in bed, and then you end up feeling absolutely dreadful. It sounds all very technical, but I think the whole message throughout this extraordinary time is to try and impose as much structure as possible. I take my tip from Sylvester Stallone, not a well-known psychologist, but he says he always goes to bed on the same day as he gets up. And I'm thinking that's a complicated way to say he goes to bed before midnight. Our brains really like a routine. And if we can get into a sleep routine, it will have a knock-on effect in terms of our mood and in terms of our diet. And after this lockdown, we're all going to be extraordinarily healthy.
Well, let's hope so. I did talk to a nutritionalist who came on and said that actually your body does not process any food after 8 o'clock. So between 8 o'clock and 4 o'clock, it doesn't digest anything. So if you eat anything after that, it's just basically sat there. And a lot of people do wake up at 4 in the morning because they've eaten the night before and your body is now saying, right, I'm ready to start work. And it starts to, process all that food and send it through your digestive system. So that's why you can wake up quite uncomfortable in the early hours.
Definitely. So if we follow the Sylvester Stallone plan, we should have our last meal at about 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Who wants a pizza at 9 and 10 o'clock?
No, you can't go to bed with that lie in there.
No,
just
pepperoni and that. And you're thinking, The duvet wouldn't keep still either, would it? Let's be honest. So, and it sounds very regimented, creating structure in our lives and giving ourselves a schedule. But it's the brain loves a routine, and it's the one thing, if we can mark out the hours of the day and have a routine, it will get us through and it will improve our moods so we don't get grumpy and overreact.
And you've got to have good bed sheets as well and clean bedding. There's nothing like it, is there, getting into a nice fresh bed? One of the world's free things that's just bliss.
I changed my sheets last night and it was heaven. Who needs anything? You're right, who needs? And I think, again, you've hit on something there, is that in these times, it's focusing on those small things that really boost mood, and lovely clean sheets, a decent breakfast, a nice coffee, lots of things that we kind of take for granted that are in our routine. We're now having to pay attention to them, and why not?
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to have clean sheets tonight, even though they're only just new. But why not? If you can have it, do it. Listen, thank you very much, Gary Wood. We will have Gary back on with us tomorrow. But now the time is 12:20.
Hi, it's Gary Wood. Thanks for checking out my videos, and please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons. You can find out more in my books, my blog, or if you're interested in coaching for wellbeing, head over to drgarywood.co.uk to get in touch. Thanks.